going on, guys? Mike Bro here. Today we want to talk about and break down the hop and teep. It's very useful to cut the distance aggressively and push your opponent back with force. Alright guys, again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I'm coming out with videos every single week to level up your fight game. Let's get started. Alright guys, so the hop teep. The hop teep is a very aggressive teep that will help you cut the distance and push your opponent far away. And it looks something like this. Teep, and then come back to your fighting stance. So how does this work? It's actually momentum from the lead leg. So the lead leg, think about it as pulling you instead of you going up with your leg and trying to push. Think of using that momentum here as your leg pulling you. It makes it a lot easier to move your body. Again, if you try to put here, your leg up and then try to push forward, you're going to have a lot of trouble. You want to use momentum. When you put my leg up here, using my knee this way, this has already momentum. It's going one way, I'm using the momentum of that power, and then I send it forward by extending my hip and just helping it a little bit by pushing off the back foot. So I'm sending it forward. So sending it here, it's pulling me forward as opposed to me pushing forward. It's kind of pulling me forward, and then lastly I'm pushing just slightly here to help it out. So it's pulling here again, pulling me. Now, for the second tip here is that you want to make sure that you extend your hip. So it's a lot easier for me to go this way as opposed to here in a straight line. Alright, so one more time here, looking forward instead of going here like this, right, with my hip caved in. I want to make sure that I use my hip to extend, so the hip will give you that momentum as well. So it's not just about putting the leg up, it's about using that hip that's going forward, right? So I'm using that hip that's going forward and it's pulling me. Now when you use the hip, it gives you a lot of power. It opens up your kick because the hip opens up, so it makes your kick a lot stronger, a lot bigger, and also it turns your foot this way. So instead of having your foot like this, you're going to have your foot sideways like this, which covers more surface when you hit your opponent. Meaning that it's going to be easier for you to hit your target, whether that's the chest, whether that's the body, whether that's the hip, alright? So now I turn my body sideways here. I teep, it makes it a lot easier. It helps me move momentum and it helps me open up my hip to get more power in my kick and get that surface area with my foot. Now, when I hop forward, I want to make sure that I contract my leg as well. So once I do my hop teep here, I want to contract my leg and then come back to my fighting stance instead of falling over. So no falling over like this, alright? I want to make sure you use your core and your hip flexor muscles to contract your body. So I'm here, I teep, and then I come back, alright? You don't have to hold it, but as long as you come back, you contract your body here, teep, contract, I'm back to my fighting stance, ready to fight instead of losing my balance and falling over. If you notice, I use the same hand as the leg to swing for balance, right? So think of it as a counterweight. So I'm using the same leg, same hand as the same leg here. I teep, and I come back here. You don't actually have to do that. You can do it without the arm. So I can just go here, teep, and then come back, all right? I personally like to do it because it gives me a lot more power and it gives me a lot more balance when I have that counterweight. A lot of times people might fear punches to the face, but if you have a very long weapon, right, you're not really going to get punched in the face because they have short weapons that should not be able to reach unless you miss. If you completely miss or something, then of course you got to cover yourself up because the person's going to be able to cut the distance or angle out and hit you, alright? But if you really do it with good technique and you have that right distance, it's about the distance, then your opponent should not be able to touch your face with the punches. So one more time, breaking it down, I'm using momentum. Pulling my leg forward, extending the hips, so not just putting my hip in. I want to make sure that my hip's out, so I turn a little bit sideways here, and using the momentum to send me forward, right? My foot's going to be sideways just here. I teep using the arm, and making sure that once I do my teep, I contract my body. Don't worry, you got to practice, and then that way you're going to get those muscles in your stomach, and get those muscles in your hip flexors to be able to contract your body. Alright guys, so that is the hop teep. If you have any questions, comment below and see you guys next time.